Today I'm going to show you 5 money-making t-shirt niche ideas for dad. This is perfect for Father's Day or all year round as people are buying their dad birthday presents or Christmas presents, and you could build these niches out to be regular money-making streams in your Etsy shops. I will even be putting the cherry on top of the sundae at the end of this video as I give you 4 ways you can add value to the dad market. Now, this might be a phrase you've heard before, add value to the market. And you might understand that this is something you need to do in order to make consistent sales. But you might be having a hard time grasping, if you're anything like me, what does that really mean? Well, I'm going to show you 4 ways you could do this in the dad niche, and they are all going to be very easy things that you can apply to any niche that you're working in. Adding value to the market is truly that magic thing that is going to get you consistent sales if you can get it figured out. The more examples you see, the better you will become at it. Before we dive into the 5 niches that we are going to be talking about with dad, let me share some interesting e-commerce statistics with you about Father's Day to get you pumped up about these niches. Did you know that Father's Day spending is expected to reach a record-breaking $20.1 billion this year alone in the USA? And apparel is in the top 3 things of that list that people are going to be spending their money on for dad. And that's not all. According to Etsy's internal data, searches for Father's Day gifts on their platform have increased by 59% in the past month. So if you're an Etsy seller, this is great news because we can tap into this opportunity in the market to boost our sales and pick up some more profits. Simply Shauna here, guys. This is going to be a 3-part series. Today we're going to be talking about niche ideas for dad. The second video is going to be about SEO, your search engine optimization. And the third video is going to be the design process. I recently did do a Mother's Day series, and in that series, I did hit the topic of SEO. So when we hit the SEO topic in this series, I will be just kind of recapping my usual process that I outline in the Mother's Day series, but I'll do a deeper dive into some tools that I use to polish off that SEO process. Since I did do a Mother's Day series and my parents do watch all my videos, hi Mom, hi Dad, I had to make sure that I hit Father's Day with as much enthusiasm as I did Mother's Day. Let's get into it. 5 niches that are great for Father's Day, but great to just build into your shop all year long. Niche number 1, funny dad t-shirts. Let's start with the classic dad jokes. All of our dads have them. We all know that dads love cracking silly jokes, making us laugh. So why not turn these dad jokes into a t-shirt, into a perfect Father's Day present? We could take their favorite punchlines and turn them into profits. With the right joke, we can make any dad feel like that shirt was just for him and that it shows off his sense of humor. Here we are on Etsy. We're just going to hop over and do a little market research on this one and see how dad joke shirts are going. I'm putting dad jokes shirt in the search bar, and I'm going to filter this. I'm going to go down to all filters, click star seller, apply that, and up in the search bar, star seller is not really what I want, but this is our hack to get to the bestsellers. Up in the search bar, if you haven't heard this yet, we're going to go over and replace the word star with best, and now these are our best sellers. That's what we really want. This first row are all shirts on ads. We're going to skip that. And just a reminder, I'm in an incognito window. I'm not signed into my shop. So it's better to do your market research when you're not signed into your shop. And this shirt right here that you see over to the left, I keep all my dad jokes in a database. This shirt has been doing really well for a long time. We're going to do a deeper dive into it in just a minute. But I'm just going to kind of scan the page and look at shirts that are doing well, the jokes that are on the shirts that are doing well to help give me some ideas. dads with beards are better. That's a good direction to go to sub-niche down your joke. Here we're hitting dads with beards. You can't tell me what to do. You are not my granddaughter. Super cute. Warning, dad jokes ahead. I won't do any shirts with these dad jokes, like warning, dad jokes ahead. My jokes are officially dad jokes. Fast food, that's into the hunting niche. That's great. See Dadalorian in there, which we wouldn't want to do that because that would be trademarked. Too close to Mandalorian. After I'm done kind of taking a peek at these, I'll go do some searches and I'll show you how I do that for other dad jokes that I don't yet see on shirts. That's how we're going to add value to the market. We know dad jokes do great. Let's not use the dad jokes that are overused. They're already all over the place. Let's add something cool, something new. That's how we add value. I see dada, daddy, dad, bruh. If you watched the Mother's Day series, we saw that that was trending for Mother's Day. Whoever brought that over from Mother's Day into the Father's Day niche first probably did really well with it. That's another angle you could take, bringing something that's doing well in another niche and being one of the first people to bring it over to a new niche. Let's head back over to that dad jokes shirt. I'm over here in Everbee, and that's a Chrome extension. It's a paid tool. It's inexpensive. I do have a link down to it in the description if you want to check it out. But with Everbee, we can really get some nice details about this listing. So here I'm in the shop details. I see the shop has over 210,000 sales. The shirt itself has 9,915 sales. It was listed 26 months ago. So it was a fairly new listing in their shop. I noticed when we were in the shop details, their shop is 30 months old. And I just get excited when I look at a shop with this kind of traction because 210,000 sales in 30 months, that's just phenomenal. So we should be students of shops like this if we want to do the kinds of numbers they're doing. I can see that the estimated monthly revenue is $5,696. And I'm sure they're making a lot of sales as they come into Father's Day each year. And throughout those other gift buying times that you'd buy dad a present like at Christmas time or for his birthday. So this tells us that there is a lot of demand for a shirt with a dad joke on it. Do not get stuck in your thinking that maybe it has to be this joke. I know I used to feel like that my first year and even into my second year. Get away from that kind of thinking because that slowed me down my first year, feeling trapped like it had to be this joke. This was the joke, the magic joke that everyone thought was so great they had to buy. This just means that dad jokes sell great on shirts. We're going to do better if we put a different joke. This shirt already does really well for this design and this joke. We're not going to do well if we try to do another shirt that looks similar to it. So on that note, let's go get ourselves some fresh ideas for dad jokes. We could just go and have a chat with our dads. I know I certainly could. I hate to admit it, but sometimes he does a really good setup for his cheesy dad joke. So we can also just Google dad jokes and see what we get. I often do that, and I'm sure you don't need me to show you how to do that. What I would like to do is, I did do this video here about ChatGPT, and I use ChatGPT sometimes to help me with ideas. That's what we're going to do right now. Let's see what ChatGPT tells us when we ask her for some dad jokes. Can you give me some funny shirt ideas with dad jokes on them, is what I typed in the search bar. And she says, sure, here are some funny shirt ideas with dad jokes on them. I'm a dad. I don't need Google. My kids know everything. I'm not arguing. I'm just explaining why I'm right. I'm not lazy. I'm just conserving energy. Dad joke loading. Please wait. Which I think I've seen that one on quite a few shirts already in Etsy. I'm not a morning person. I'm a coffee person. I told my wife she was drawing her eyebrows too high. She looked surprised. I'm not old. I'm a classic. I'm not bald. I'm just taller than my hair. I used to play piano by ear, but now I use my hands. I have a photographic memory, but always forget to bring my camera. So I actually did this a couple times, and I really liked two of the ones on this list. Number 10 there says, I used to be indecisive, but now I'm not sure. And then number 12 there says, I told a joke about construction, but I'm still working on that one. And I think I like these so much because I could totally hear my dad saying them. And well, isn't that just exactly the point? A joke that someone can hear their dad saying. And that is what is going to get the purchase. So clearly a lot of people can hear their dad saying that database joke. I can hear my dad saying that. But if we come up with some new fresh ones that people can hear their dads saying, then you've got your next bestseller on your hands. The second dad niche up at bat is sports. Now there's a whole bunch of sports that we could focus on here. So there's really two strategies I'm thinking we can hit this angle with of sports shirts for dad. You can score big by going deep. Okay, without all the sports puns, all I mean by that is really doubling down in one area. So let's say baseball. You're going to explode your shop with baseball shirts for dad. This is usually the strategy that I use. I like to dig in deep into one subcategory and do a whole bunch. The other strategy you can use is scalable designs. So maybe you're feeling like you're going to get bored with the baseball shirts and you're just not going to have that many ideas. So instead, you can actually take one design that you set up for a sport and just insert different sports. I'll show you an example in a second. Here is a graphic. I'm on Creative Fabrica. This is a tool that I use to get most of my graphics. And if you're not familiar, you should check them out. There's actually a link down in my description where you could get a free month and take a look at all of the fun graphics they have. But what we're going to do or could do if we wanted to do scalable designs here, I could take this design and I can simply get different balls and have the text change. So we'll put a basketball dad one up like this. Then we'll do a football dad with half of a football above it. Then we could do a tennis dad with half of a tennis ball above it. Maybe racquetball dad with half of a racket or a racquetball above it. So that is what I mean by scalable designs. There are a bunch of sports that spring to mind right away, like football, golfing, basketball, hockey, baseball, soccer. But this is worth your attention. Don't forget or overlook some of the more unique and maybe underserved sports, like maybe bowling or badminton, racquetball, archery, handball. So sometimes that's our way into a niche by going after maybe a sport that's not as well known, and we could pick up some sales there. And just kind of two more ideas that are maybe a little outside the box. You could hit this from the idea of the coach, because there's a lot of dads that they're coaching their kids' teams, or from the idea of that dad that's there to root for their little one on the field. Next up, our third niche on the dad list are celebrating our dad's hobbies. So thinking about hobbies that lots of dads are interested in and brainstorming ways that you can incorporate these into shirts. Let's play a little game. I am going to give you 10 seconds and you are going to brainstorm as many hobbies as you can. And then I'm going to throw out a whole bunch at you and you get a point for each one that you thought of that's also on my list. On your marks, get set, go! All right, get ready. Just a few things dads might be into, might love, hobbies they might like. Fishing, hunting, camping, gaming, boating, craft beer drinking, gardening, collecting things, surfing, do-it-yourself projects, cooking, grilling, photography, running, weightlifting. The list goes on and on. How many of yours matched up with mine? If you thought of one, and I'm sure you did, that I did not, pop down into the comments, share it with us. Whichever one of those resonates with you that you think would be fun to design in, consider adding some of those to your shop. If we could create shirts that showcase our dad's favorite pastimes, that's going to resonate with the shoppers that are buying those dad's presents. It's going to be feeling very giftable and like it was meant just for him. Perhaps a shirt that says Grill Master or Fishing Legends. These make thoughtful gifts, and that is why people come to Etsy, to buy a gift that is thoughtful, that is just right for that person that they're buying that gift for. These niched down t-shirts can really help a shopper find that gift that shows they put a lot of effort, they know that person well that they're buying the gift for, and that makes that shopper feel good to gift that item to their dad. And on that note, let's jump into niche number 4, personalized items. This is something that the gift buyer can add a name to or some other type of personal element to. You could go this direction with any of the niches we've already chatted about. So let's jump into an example with that. On the left, we have a shirt where they can add the kids' names. And on the right, we have an example of a shirt where you can add established dates, like dates that they became the husband, the father, the grandpa, the legend. So these could be a starting place for ideas of how you could create some shirts to either add an element of names or dates. Now, I personally like to niche down. So here we're looking at some football dad shirts. So maybe we could add the kiddo's number to these shirts. And then going back to the shirt we were just looking at with the established by dates, maybe we make a football version where, maybe this dad is the coach, and maybe we add the word coach to that list and the year that he started coaching the kiddos' games. Going back to that shirt that had dad with the kids' names, we could also niche down there, which again, that's personally my favorite way to do it. So maybe something like a baseball font that says dad, and then maybe little softballs and baseballs where you could write little girls and little boys' names inside. So that's just scratching the surface. You could bring this idea into any hobby or any sport and personalize it that way, or niche down that way and then get it personalized. And last but certainly not least, niche number 5, you could take this to the next level by considering creating matching father and child shirts. Daddy and his little kiddo can be in matching shirts. You could design shirts with cute or funny phrases, such as dad's mini-me or like father, like son. You can also go the route of doing like matching things that go together. I'll show you an example right here. You could go this route with lots of ideas. Even better if it's something that is already in your shop, a niche that you're already in. Let's say you're already selling golfing shirts, and now you could do mini-me, father's, dad, and kiddo shirts with something that goes together in golfing. Or maybe you sell coffee shirts, you already rank there and you're selling them. Then the Father's Day shirts that have something related to coffee for dad and for the mini. If you could come up with ideas that already go with niches that you're already in, this is a really powerful way, another way to build out your niches and to bring where you're already ranking and where you already have traction into other places to help build the momentum in your shop. And a bonus niche for you, Dad's first Father's Day. This is super duper giftable. And of course, I did not forget that I promised you a cherry on top. And we are going to go over 4 super duper quick ways that you can add value to the market. And what does that mean? We mentioned this one earlier, but it is worth bringing back to our attention. This dad joke shirt is selling like crazy, and it has been for a couple of years now. That does not mean that we have to make a shirt with this dad joke. The way that we're going to add value to the market is by making different dad joke shirts, being mindful that different things are going to resonate at different levels with shoppers for their dads, depending on their dad's humor. This is so worth a stab. You could take this concept into any niche, something that is working really well. It does not have to be that phrase, like this specific dad joke, but it would need to convey the same sentiment. And then you would try some other phrases that convey that same sentiment. Here, making the idea that your dad tells cheesy jokes. You would also want to be mindful of the type of the design that it's working on. I might want to use some of these similar colors. Number 2, pay attention to items that are not even the items that you sell. So if we're selling t-shirts and we notice that these particular wall posters are doing well, or these plaques, this wall art is doing well, perhaps these types of designs would do really well on t-shirts also. Take a peek at cards in the niches that you want to be ranking in. This is tip number 3. Go ahead and take a look at cards for ideas. A lot of times they're totally different angles on designs, and that can help you bring value to the t-shirt market or the tote market or the mug market or whatever items that you're selling, taking that inspiration from designs that are working well on a totally different product. Being mindful of niches that maybe you're not in, but noticing the types of phrases that are working, and being mindful if there is a way or if it would work to bring it over into your niche. Like with this example, we mentioned we saw mom shirts doing well with this. Teacher shirts also do well with a similar phrase. And if you're one of the first people to notice this and bring it into your niche, then you are going to be the one with the opportunity to make the most sales on it. And the 4th way I'm going to mention as a way to bring value to the market is to look for opportunities to cross niche. So here we have a Father's Day shirt that is personalized, and it is also mixed with the idea of being patriotic, as that flag is there on the background. I hope I didn't give you too many ideas and that you don't feel overwhelmed. I don't expect anyone to tackle all of these. I would certainly not be doing that. Only pick 1 or 2 ideas that you really want to run with, and then that way you can really add a nice showing of listings in these areas. If something starts selling, focus your energy there and really double down in that area. Keep hanging out with me right here in this video, but right after this tip from Tucker. Tucker, take it away!